Hey, it's Mr. Gaskell with another episode of the Knudson Garden Update. The weather has finally cooled down and the garden is just exploding. It's loving it. We're going to talk about what's growing in the garden right now, and we're very excited because we have an oil press that we purchased courtesy of Donors Choose and the Nevada Department of Education. So we're going to talk about sunflower seed oil and watermelon seed oil. And we'll talk a little bit about the cool stuff growing in the garden right now. But first, let's go and go inside the lab and take a look at this oil press and how we're getting sunflower oil from sunflower seeds.
So this is our oil press machine. It's got a hopper on top, and the oil comes down into a pan, and the extra comes out the end. Here we've got some black oil sunflower seeds, and we're just going to dump those here into the hopper. And they are going to get pressed and squashed. And as they do, the oil in them is going to press out. And we'll catch that in the pan. And then there's the rest of the sunflower seed that does not have oil in it. And that's just going to get squeezed out, and a lot of you have been having a lot of fun with this oil press, spooning in seeds like this, watching the oil come out. And some of you, I think, are even more interested in the waste than in the actual sunflower oil. But it's pretty cool seeing that oil drip out of there. Black oil sunflower seed is the result of selective breeding. Sunflower seeds are native to North America. Native Americans have been using them here for thousands of years. And over time, we've learned how to selectively breed them to produce oil in very high quantities. And there we've got some sunflower seed oil that students have been pressing out over the past few days. You can see the oil comes out. It's pretty black, but over time the black sediment settles down to the bottom, and then we can pour off the pure oil, and looks like we got about 650 mils of it. Good job, guys. We've also been keeping those seeds from the watermelons we've been eating in class, drying them, and then we can take those seeds, run them through our oil press, and get some watermelon seed oil. So let's take a look at how that's going to work. Just like we did with our sunflower seeds, we'll put our watermelon seeds in. We're getting some waste pushed out. And we're getting a few drops of oil. Let's add some more seeds here. Waste coming out. Little drops of oil. Add a few more seeds here. There's some more oil coming out there. Oh yeah. Pretty good yield coming out there with our watermelon seed waste. And oil dripping out. We will add some more seeds. Now, there's nothing particularly special about watermelon seed oil as compared to sunflower oil. They both have a large amount of what's called linoleic acid, which is what we call a polyunsaturated oil, which means it has a couple of kinks in it. In the oil chain molecule, not all of the carbons are connected to all the hydrogens they should be connected to. So they form some double bonds with other carbons next to them, which cause the carbon chain to bend. There's some other oils in watermelon seed oil. There's some oleic acid, a little bit of palmitic acid. As far as the composition, it's pretty similar to sunflower seed oil. The main difference between the sunflower and watermelon seed oil is that the yield is so much higher with sunflower seeds. About 30% of the sunflower seed gets expressed out as oil in our little machine, and in larger industrial operations, they can get even higher. Compare that to the watermelon seed, which only has about a 14, maybe a 15% yield here. And that's still pretty good as oil seeds go, but bang for our buck, we're going to get a lot more oil out of our sunflowers than from our watermelon. So, pretty cool. We'll take a look at the oil here when we're done, and move on to the other parts of our garden. All right, we will take our filter out and take a look at our watermelon seed oil. Looks pretty good. So we will just pour that out into a beaker, not next to the beaker. And we have our watermelon seed oil. Not a whole lot, but we don't exactly have a 20-pound bag of watermelon seeds right now. Still cool. We can still use it. All right, well, let's take a look quickly at what else is growing in the garden right now. We've got this beautiful Persian basil that is just thriving in this weather. The Persian basil leaves are fragrant, they are delicious, they make a wonderful addition to any salad. The flowers are pretty. We put those on our soaps before. And we've got some seed pods from our okra, and we're just going to harvest these seed pods and add them to the seed collection we've got. We'll press some oil out of these. Okra seeds don't have nearly the yield that even watermelon seeds do, but they've got a fair amount of palmitic oil in them, palmitic acid. So we'll press some oil out of here that we can. We've also got our carrots that have been sitting here all year, and they are really thriving. And let's take a look at what they look like here. Now that they've been growing all summer, they're really thick. And some of you might wonder, well, geez, what do they look like? Well, let's take a look. Oh, yeah, that's a good-looking carrot. Kind of a weird-looking guy. Something maybe from a Studio Ghibli film. Very cool. We've got some very large red noodle beans that we are harvesting. Almost looks like a snake. But what's really thriving right now are the kale and broccoli, our brassicas.
They have come back to life. They're so much happier now that the weather has cooled down. Banana tree's doing great still. And over here, we've got some okra, and we've also got, some of you might recognize these. Your parents, your moms might make salsa out of these. These are tomatillos. So if you pick a tomatillo, it's got this paper coating, and then if you peel it away, you've got the tomatillo inside. Kind of sticky once you peel off that papery coating. But we've got a ton of tomatillos here in the garden. They're all over. So we'll be sending some of these home with you all for Thanksgiving break. Okay. They're really doing great. And we've also got, in addition to tomatillos, we got tomatoes. We've got actually a ton of tomatoes. They're a little green right now, but they are going to ripen here pretty soon. And then we will have all the tomatoes that any of you want. They're a cherry tomato variety. They're called Sunsweet. They are a pretty sweet tomato variety. When they're ripe, they're going to be yellow. We've got a ton of them. We've also got, and we've talked about these before, our Poblano Peppers. We've got a nice big crop of these. We've got some pretty good sized ones. So we'll be sending home some Poblanos with you all. And we've got another variety of tomato here. And it's not a cherry tomato. It is producing more of a regular sized tomato. And there we've got one back in there. So our tomatoes, our tomatillos, our poblano peppers, our brassicas, our kale, and our broccoli are all just doing great out here in the garden. So we're very happy now that it's cooled down. The garden is starting to be productive again. So much delicious stuff in the garden. So many cool things going on. We're going to take that sunflower oil. We're going to make some lotion with it here if we can figure out our math and get our proportions right in 7th grade. We'll get there. So stay safe, guys. Wear a mask. Eat some good food. Oh yeah, eat a poblano. That's real good. Eat some Persian basil. That's real good. We'll wash up this carrot before we jump on that. Stay safe, and we'll see you at our next Knudson Garden Update.